Hello, welcome to Math with Mr. Dobrescu, to the rescue. Now, since everyone is graduating this week, I'm challenging you to some complex equations and see if you can solve these equations. Take a look at this equation here. We have this complex equation and now we are trying to solve it. How do you solve this equation? First of all, if we look at these steps, step number one, we need to find the least common multiple. Looking at these numbers, 3, 6, and 2, we know that the least common multiple is 6 because all these numbers are going into 6. 3 go into 6 2 times, 6 goes into itself 1 time, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Therefore, we can multiply the entire expression by 6, okay? Actually, we can multiply this fraction here by 3 times 2 equals 6 by 2. Whatever we do on the bottom, we do on the top. 2 times 3, 6. We got a 6. Now, since we have 6 on this fraction and the denominator is 6, we don't need to multiply this fraction by anything since we already have the 6. Now let's take a look at the last one here. Here we have the 2, and now we know that 2 times 3 equals 6. Whatever we do on the bottom, we do on the top. Okay, let's continue now with our equation. Now we see we have 6 here, 6 here, and 6 here. Therefore, we can clear the denominator. So what I want you to do, I want you to cross a line on the entire denominator because we are clearing the denominator. This is a very important concept in mathematics. It's called clearing the denominator, so we don't have a denominator anymore, and now we can solve the equation. Let's take a look at step number 3. So step number 1 is done, step number 2 is done, and now step number 3, we're going to solve the equation. Let's continue to solve here. So 2 times x becomes 2x. And now be very, very careful because we have a negative and then we have 2 terms, 3 minus 2x. Because we have this negative in front of these 2 terms, in front of this fraction, we have to put a little parenthesis around 3 minus 2x and add the invisible one right there because we have to distribute this negative 1 over 3 and negative 1 over 2x. Okay? Be very, very careful because we need to do that. Okay, let's multiply. Negative 1 times 3 becomes negative 3. And then negative 1 times negative 2x becomes 2x plus 2x. And then equals 5 times 3 becomes 15x. Okay? From this complicated equation, now we have a simpler equation that we can continue and solve for x. But first, we have to combine the like terms. We have 2x, and 2x plus 2x becomes 4x. Let's continue. Minus 3 equals 15x. And now we continue with, we need to bring all the variables to one side of the equation, and we are going to subtract 4x because we want to keep the variables positive. So let's subtract 4x on both sides. Whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other side. Minus 4x. And we see that 4x and negative 4x cancels out. So we have negative 3 equals 11x. And finally, our last step will be to continue to solve for x by dividing both sides of the equation by 11. So we can get the x by itself. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other side. 11 and 11 simplifies. So x equals negative 3 over 11. Negative 3 over 11. That's our answer. Okay? Let's take a look at one more example here. Another complex equation. And again, our goal is, first of all, we need to find the least common multiple. So we have a 4 and we have a 6. and here we have the whole number, -2 and -1. So now, looking at 4 and 6, a least common multiple between 4 and 6 is actually 12, because 4 goes into 12 3 times, so we have to multiply this by 3. Whatever we do on the bottom, we do on the top, because 3 times 4 is 12, okay? LCM is 12, okay? Now, -2, since it's a whole number and we have a 1 on the bottom, we have to multiply the entire thing by 12 over 12. So we have here 12 over 12, okay? Don't forget that we have 12 over 12. The same we do with -1 here. We have 12 over 12, because we need a 12, right? We have here a 12, we have here a 12, and we have here a 12, but now 6 times 2 equals 12. Therefore, we need to multiply this expression by 2. Whatever we do on the bottom, we do on the top. And now again, we can clear the denominator. Let's do that. So let's clear the denominator like that. That's it. No more denominator, okay? Because we found the LCM, least common multiple, which is 12. 3 times 4, 12. 12, 2 times 6, 12, and another 12 right there. Now let's take it at the top here. But don't forget the arrows, because we need to distribute 3 over the parenthesis. The same here, 2, and let's continue to solve. 3 times -3 becomes -9. 3 times -5 becomes -15x. And here we have 2 times 12. Okay, 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 1, 2. So -24 equals, let's multiply here. 2 times 2 becomes 4x. And 2 times -1, -2. And again, minus the 12. 1 times 12 is 12. Our equation, it already becomes simpler. But again, we need to combine the like terms. So we need to combine -9 and -24. And -2 and -12. If you combine -9 and -24, okay, so 24, if this would be a 10, it will be 34, but because it's a 9, it is actually 33, -33. -24 combined with -9, we are combining them together, and we get -33 minus 15x equals 4x, and -12 becomes -14. -14. And again, we have to get all the variables now to one side of the equation. And of course, it's better if we add, in this case, 15x on both sides. Whatever we do to this side, we must do to the other side plus 15x. And let's see what we get. 15x and -15x cancels out. So we are left over with -33 equals 15x plus 4x becomes 19x, and then minus 14. And now we have to bring the whole numbers to one side of the equation. So in this case now we are going to add 14 on both sides. Let's add 14 on both sides. This simplifies out. So 33 take away 14 actually becomes -19. -19 equals 19x. And finally, we divide both sides by 19. Okay, so the final answer is, this simplifies out, x equals negative divided by positive becomes -1. And this is our final answer. Okay, please review those two problems, and I wish you all the best over this summer. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video. Mr. Dobrescu to the rescue!